The 2003 winner of the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance with American Splendor. It also captured the International Critics Award at Cannes this year. The film is an adaptation of a comic book created in 1976 by Cleveland file clerk Harvey Pekar. Here is the trailer for American Splendor.
Trick or treat!
Look at this. We got Superman and Batman. And what about you, young man?
I'm Harvey Pekar.
It doesn't sound like a superhero to me.
Oh, forget this. Why does everybody have to be so stupid?
Here's me, all grown up and going nowhere.
I'm not doing as great as you think.
I gotta get out of here.
My second wife divorced me. I work a dead-end job as a file clerk.
So if you're the kind of person looking for some fantasy figure to save the day, guess what? You got the wrong movie. In the early 60s, I met this shy retiring cat from Philadelphia.
Meet my buddy, Bob Crumb. You should see his comics.
I could write comic book stories that are different from anything that's being done.
This is great stuff. Can I illustrate them? These are all about you?
Yeah.
You turn yourself into a comic hero.
Ordinary life is pretty complex stuff.
What happened to the new American Splendor?
I think we sold them.
Why does everything in my life have to be such a complicated disaster?
I think you and I got a lot in common.
I don't really know what to expect. The way Crumb draws you, you have all these wavy, stinky lines.
Those are motion lines. I'm an active guy. Hey, are you Joyce?
Hey, Harvey.
Alex, you might as well know right off the bat I had a vasectomy.
I have all these food allergies, self-diagnosed anemic degenerative illness.
Wow, you're a sick woman.
Not yet, but I expect to be. I think we should skip the whole courtship thing and just get married.
From off the streets of Cleveland, please say hello to Harvey Pekar.
You're Harvey Pekar. You're famous.
Son, you done good.
You're the embodiment of the American dream.
I never felt more like a sellout hack in my life.
You do me wrong, but still I'm crazy about you.
I'm still a file clerk. I have always been a file clerk.
Would you get me some water and a few aspirin?
What, you got a headache?
No, but I want to avoid one.
You should try believing in something bigger than yourself. It might cheer you up.
What, do we seem depressed?
Joining me now, the filmmaker Shari Berman and Robert Pulcini, actor Paul Giamatti, who served as Harvey Pekar in the movie, and the real Harvey Pekar, who simply plays himself. I am pleased to have all of you here.
Thank you. To be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Whose idea was this, Harvey?
Well, I have had people approaching me to do a film since about 1980 based on my comic books, but nobody could raise the money. It was optioned a few times, but that's about as far as it got. In 1999, an artist that had worked with me told me about a guy named Ted Hope, who worked with a local company, Good Machine, local independent film company that was real interested in doing something based on the American Splendor series. And I had my wife, who's much better in business than I am, call him up, and he and they had a deal.
Good.
They had a deal in very short order, and he's the one that put it together pretty much from there on. He, as far as I'm concerned, is the unsung hero of the production so far, unless he starts getting sung pretty soon.
Would you evaluate the reason you've been so extraordinarily successful as unvarnished genius, or would you consider it simply a couple of good breaks along the way and all of a sudden you're a big star?
Oh, man. What if I said unvarnished genius? Why not?
Well,
go for it.
There you go.
Unvarnished.
Unvarnished is good. You don't want to be a varnished genius.
No.
Whatever you are, never be a varnished genius.
Yeah.
You want to be
VG, yeah.
VG, that's right.
Yeah, I had some good breaks. The one tremendous break I had, the first break, was when Robert Crumb, who was a friend of mine,
pretty good cartoonist, would you say?
Yeah, I would say, agreed to. Well, he didn't agree to. I didn't even ask him. I was afraid to ask him, but I showed him some of my stories, and he said, "Yeah, this is pretty good. You know, like, let me illustrate this. Let me take this home and illustrate it."
Well, what do you think he saw?
Well,
I'll save the tough. Harvey, I'm going to save the tough questions for later.
What do I think he saw? He saw, I don't know, some humor and you know, maybe some accurate portrayal of people that he knew and stuff like that, because he did know a lot of the same people or same type of people that I knew. We lived together in the same neighborhood for about 4 years. And anyway, that was a tremendous break, because it gave me a leg up starting out.
Yeah, when Crumb comes around, that gives you a leg up.
That's right.
Sure does.
That's right.
Sure. So, Robert, what did you and Shari see? I mean, how does this become a movie?
Well, you know, Ted Hope started sending us these comics. We weren't really that familiar with them.
I mean, this is the American Splendor here. I'm going to give you an example of it.
Yeah. Well, what you'll notice if you look through them is Harvey's drawn by all these different artists.
Yeah.
So when I first got them, I'm like, is this the same character
right.
as I read about in the last story?
This is art by Mr. Crumb right here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So then, you know, we talked about it, and we fell in love with the project, but we talked about, you know, what to do with this, and we realized, like, all those different artists' interpretation of him was what made this comic book unique. So we thought we'd try to do something similar in the movie.
Yeah. But the movie's interesting. They have 3 narratives.
3 narratives.
Right.
Well, there's more than 3
More than
Harveys.
3.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's Harvey. There's Harvey at different ages in the movie. There's a young kid playing him.
Right.
There's Paul Giamatti's Harvey.
There's animated Harvey.
Yeah.
Donald Logue's Harvey.
Donald Logue plays the stage version of Harvey.
The many faces of Harvey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you guys had to earn his trust, and especially you had to earn Joyce's trust, yes?
Especially.
Especially Joyce.
I was hooked from the start. They didn't have to bother with me.
You said, I'm in, you got to go get that
right.
her.
We didn't have to do anything to...
Now, what were her reservations?
I think that Joyce is very protective of Harvey. You know, over the years, a lot of people have, you know, come to him with offers to do a lot of things, and she wanted to make sure that, you know, this is their life, you know, and wanted to make sure they were getting into business with the right people.
Yeah. But, I mean, all of a sudden, you've been on the Letterman show.
I've been on Letterman, yeah.
You know, Letterman a number of times. You've been offered your own show by Fox, talk show.
Yeah, that actually... I was told, somebody called me about that.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't go into it any further because I didn't want to do it. I could have been a gigantic hoax.
I mean, stick to really creative stuff. Like drawing cartoons. Like stories, you know.
Okay.
So Joyce was convinced finally that she could trust the filmmakers.
Yeah. I'm surprised she even doubted it for a minute. You mean she actually expressed any doubt to you guys?
Did she?
Not to us.
Behind my back?
Yeah. Was it hard to get money for this?
Well, initially we were pitching it around for independent financing, and we had some interest, but we knew it was going to take a few years. But then Ted encouraged us to pitch it to HBO because they have this independence division. And, you know, we walked in and pitched it, and the executive there, Martin Nadler, said, I want to do it. You know, it was kind of amazing. And actually, from the day we pitched it to when we had a cut was a year. So everything happened very quickly on this movie.
And did you immediately think of Paul as your guy?
He was on our first list.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, you were.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, when he actually came in and read.
A-list Paul.
A-list Paul.
That's right.
First list Paul.
Yeah, first list. Yeah, I don't know about A-list. Yeah.
He was up at the top of the list. You know.
Well, I didn't know that. That's very nice.
So how did you just hang out? How did you prepare for this?
Oh, well, I went in and auditioned for these guys, and they told me, they gave me what tape existed of Harvey, so I watched some of the Letterman stuff, but the best way was to read all of his stuff.
And then you get what?
I don't know. I mean, you get the mood of the thing off of this. You know, you get the real, you know, you get the essence of the man in there.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you know
but
where
there's
you're going.
actually, the drawings were really inspiring to me, too. Crumb's drawings were great, and it's got Jerry Shamray does. I really like Jerry Shamray's drawings.
He's
and
one
so
of the best.
The books were the best with it, and then I hung around him.
So let's assume there's somebody on the planet Earth that doesn't know who Harvey is.
You think that's accurate, Harvey?
You think so, Harvey?
At this point.
What are you going to tell him? How do you describe who he is?
I don't know. know.
I mean, or his story. What is his story? Characterize it.
Story. I mean, I suppose Harvey is a, I don't know, what would you call him?
Working class intellectual.
Working class intellectual. Self-educated genius.
Unvarnished genius.
Unvarnished genius.
All right, roll tape. Here's a scene in which Harvey has an epiphany while waiting in a checkout line. You'll get the story here. Epiphany, yeah.
These glasses are 6 for $2.
Wake up! Your whole life's getting eaten away with this kind of crap. What kind of existence is this? Is this all a working stiff like you can expect? You gonna suffer in silence for the rest of your life, or you gonna make a mark? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Okay, I have the money right here. Even money, $1.50. You don't even have to open the cash register. Even change and deal.
What's interesting about this from a film cinematic standpoint, cinematic.
Nice going, Charlie. I see why you got the job.
I often wonder myself. You can use the animation. I mean, you can mix.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we wrote the screenplay. Is we had animation in it. We had the documentary. We had little placeholders for the documentary. We just felt like, it was a groundbreaking comic book, so we had to do something, innovative with the material. Yeah,
roll tape. I want to take a look at another one. This is where Mr. Crumb checks out Harvey's work and offers, as Harvey told us earlier, he'd like to illustrate it.
Ordinary life is pretty complex stuff.
These are really good.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, this is great stuff. I dig it. Can I take them home and illustrate them?
Wow, man!
You couldn't be better than that. That's exactly the way it was. You just said.
No, I wasn't in a restaurant.
Well, where were you?
I was in my apartment. He was crashing with me. He used to take these cross-country drives every year. He couldn't drive, so he'd go with a couple of guys. They'd chauffeur him around. So he was driving his '56 Cadillac Eldorado across the country, and he came to Cleveland and he stopped at my house. So I had all these ideas about doing, new kind of comics, because I thought there was all kind of potential in comics that hadn't been explored, and I did a story for him using stick figures and frames and balloons and captions and stuff, and I showed him a bunch of the stuff, and I said, "What do you think of it?" In the back of my mind, I was hoping, God, I hope he offers to illustrate it, but he'd never illustrated anything for anybody else but himself before, and I really thought, I mean, I didn't have enough nerve to ask him to do something like that, but he looked at him and he volunteered, man. Hey, he volunteered.
Whatever your technique is, it works.
You held him to his word.
The hard sell.
The soft sell.
And
that was soft.
There was another cartoonist with him by the name of Bob Armstrong, and I gave Armstrong some of the work, and Crumb took some of it out to the West Coast with him, and he was showing it around to some other artists out there, and they decided they wanted to do some of it. So, I mean, I owe the guy an awful lot, really do.
How are you going to pay him back?
I'm going to put him in a movie and show the good side of him.
Was it fun to be part of this movie?
Yeah, I liked it.
Took it what, a year to make?
No, I mean the shooting was what, about
24 days.
24 days, but that's a budgetary thing, right?
It was very low budget, and it was a really short shoot.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it was really enjoyable.
But
for
you're
me.
sitting there watching him make a movie of your life.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't watching that at all.
He was out at the craft service table having donuts. Is what he was doing.
Yeah, or talking to some of the many bright people connected with the movie that weren't doing anything else at the time.
Do you remember the first time that you two met?
Yeah.
And so you're looking him over, saying.
And I wasn't looking him over at all.
No, he didn't seem to be.
Well, I wasn't.
No, he didn't seem to be. He
Ask
seemed
the
really
man.
strangely comfortable with it. I mean,
right away.
No,
yeah, he really did.
What I was concentrating on, we've got this bookstore in Cleveland called Zubal's.
Right.
That's immense. You could take the Strand and put it in a corner of it.
It's true. It's true.
Strand is a bookstore here in New York.
It's true.
Yes, that's right. Even I know that.
Well, but somebody might not. I mean, not many, but a few.
Anyway, this thing was so huge and had so much stuff in it that it was like I had civic pride, you know. And Paul, I heard Paul collected books and was an avid reader and stuff like that. So I just wanted to put over Zubal's bookstore. That was first on my agenda, you know. Then, you know, we tackle the rest of the problem.
No, and I was impressed, and he's like royalty at this place.
Is that right?
Very much.
It was, really.
Yes,
Mr.
no, he
Pekar.
really is. Yeah,
yes.
Pekar is royalty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so,
No, they called me Harvey. You know.
Yeah, they do. All right, I want people to see that this is one where Joyce Brabner contacts you asking for an issue of the comic book, American Splendor. Here it is.
Dear Mr. Pekar, greetings from the second smallest state in the Union. An endless plastics and nylon plantation controlled by giant chemical corporations. To make matters more dismal, there are no decent comic book stores in my town, which is why my partner and I opened one ourselves. Despite our steadily faltering business, my partner managed to sell the last copy of American Splendor #8 out from under me. I'm a big fan, and I hate to wait for a new order. Is there any way I can get it from you direct? Sincerely, Joyce Brabner.
Man, she's got good-looking handwriting.
That's your favorite scene in the movie?
It made me want to do this. When I read that in the script, I thought, how great.
Yeah.
What a funny comment on the toilet. I thought, that's great.
What was it? How was this to do? And was it difficult at all to capture?
Yeah, well, I'd never done something that demanded a certain amount of mimicry before, so it was hard. But he's a very interesting subject for study.
And especially when you're going to see the juxtaposition right there.
Right, and so that actually made it easier in some ways because it was all, it was very clearly defined what I had to capture, So it was, so it was all right there.
We get along, we think alike too. I think that helped.
I think that does help a little bit.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You think?
Well, it means that sometimes I'll try and crack a joke and nobody else will laugh but Paul.
That's true. I think that's true.
I break the guy up. I love him. What an audience.
This is the movie you set out to make.
Yeah.
Would you change anything?
Well, yeah. I mean,
if you had more time or money or more whatever.
I see a few cuts I could make here and there. I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Edits.
A few edits.
Because.
Well, I always, when I watch one of our films,
everybody does.
Everybody does. You think if I had a little more time, I would have done this, I would have done that. But overall, I'm very happy with it. I mean,
Bob works as the editor, so I then take on the sole duty of being the director. So he's really obsessive about the editing. Never wants to let it go.
The fact that you two are married, does that make it easy? I mean, because you constantly know each other's strengths and weaknesses and.
Doesn't make it easy.
Make it more painful. More painful. Harvey, what is it? We have a side conversation over here?
No, sorry. What's going on?
I think you talked about marriage.
They've heard all this
started
before.
talking about marriage. It's got a lot to say.
What's the role of Joyce in your life?
She's my wife.
No, I know that.
She's my,
Is she your rudder?
Stabilizing influence?
Stabilizing.
But choose your own words. You don't have to take ours.
It's true.
No, I don't have to. I won't. She's, she takes care of our kid Danielle.
Yeah.
And she's a big business decision maker, as I told you before. And she pretty much, she kind of bosses me,
Kind of bosses you.
Yeah, she runs it.
You like that, though, it seems to me.
I just don't have to. I depend more like I depend. I don't have the strength to put to counter that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of
force of nature,
lymphoma, the cancer.
Yeah.
You always thought this should be part of it. This is part of the story.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Important part of his life.
that hard for you?
Well, yeah, it wasn't fun.
I don't mean cancer. No, that's tough. I mean, seeing it portrayed and...
No.
No,
it wasn't.
Anything that you wanted to be in the film that's not in the film?
Not really, not that I can think of. I think they made excellent choices. I've been asked that question a few times. I've had time.
I'm sorry I asked it.
No, I just wanted to tell you I have had time to ponder it, sir. And after due deliberation, I think that I would just leave it about the way it was.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even imagine or conceive of any cuts or edits that he would want to make in that.
Near the end, you two are switched in the film a couple of times, right?
I guess we switch around the Letterman stuff, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to flip back and forth.
We actually have the stock footage of Harvey's Letterman appearances that we use.
It starts to flip-flop more,
And you go back and...
Yeah, right.
That's great.
That's right.
That was a moment when we were writing the script that we knew we were in trouble. Because, you know, on the one hand, it was great. We got very excited about it, and then we realized we had to do it. And that's why the casting was so fragile.
Fragile?
Yeah, because, you know, you're asking the audience to invest in an actor, and while you're seeing the real guy on the screen, and if they don't go with it, then the whole movie falls apart.
Okay, one more scene. This is where I can't wait for this. Joyce and Harvey have their first date. Here it is.
We got a lot of meat on this menu.
You're a vegetarian?
Kinda, you know. I mean, ever since I got a pet cat, you know, I've had a lot of trouble eating animals.
I support and identify with groups like PETA, but unfortunately I'm a self-diagnosed anemic. Also, I have all these food allergies to vegetables which give me serious intestinal distress. I guess I have a lot of borderline health disorders that limit me politically when it comes to eating.
Wow, you're a sick woman.
Not yet, but I expect to be. Everyone in my family has some sort of degenerative illness.
But just back to cancer for a second before we go. The notion, it wasn't too personal, it wasn't too anything for you to write about it?
No, I mean...
It's your story?
Yeah, I don't mind people knowing I had cancer.
No, I don't mean that, but I mean, you know, it's more than that. I mean, you know, it has an impact.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was... I write about stuff that, you know, people can, you know, I hope that they can identify with it and like maybe feel like, wow, man, you know, like somebody else went through this, and so maybe it's not that bad. And that's one of the reasons that my wife and I wrote Our Cancer Year. And I thought that it would be necessary to put this thing in the film. That's a big momentous thing. Matter of fact, I've had a recurrence of it. I'm okay now, though. I'm still in remission.
You like jazz?
Yeah.
A lot.
I write about it.
I know you do.
I guess you got
I was just guessing, Harvey. I thought maybe. At the moment I thought about the country and western, then I said, no, jazz. It's jazz.
I think Charlie, I think you got me down.
You know what? And it's fun, too. It really is. I think you should have taken your own show when they called you from Fox. It would have been a great show.
Not too late.
It's not, exactly, it's not too late. Which is really... where does this go from here? I mean, you make a good movie. Is there a sequel to this?
I don't know, Harvey. You got to write it, and then we have to adapt it.
We were thinking of doing something from Joyce's perspective.
Oh, really? There's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
There is a good idea.
Joyce's revenge, Harvey.
The revenge of Joyce. Joyce's story.
Right.
Or the Joyce's perspective.
That's a great idea.
What do you think?
I think it's an excellent idea.
Sign the man up.
This must have been fun to do.
Yeah,
fun.
It was
This is a fun set.
No, it really was fun.
You know?
Everybody really likes each other.
Yeah, we had a good time.
When people had time off, they'd go like record shopping with Harvey
Absolutely.
and stuff. There was a lot
to
of
buy
that going.
jazz.
Well, yeah, whatever. Country and Western, if
he was selling, he'd sell
Who do you like?
He's got a huge collection. He's got everything.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
What, country and
No.
Who is your favorite?
I don't have any. There's so many great musicians. I don't
You
have
don't
any
have to. Yeah, all right.
favorites.
Figured you'd like Coltrane or...
I like Coltrane, but I like Louis Armstrong, and I like
it's
some...
hard not to, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
It's
There are
hard
too
for
many.
me not to. And I like some pre-Louis Armstrong figures too, like Johnny Dunn and people like that.
Who are your literary influences?
James Joyce, Arthur Miller, George Ade, Henry Roth, Daniel Fuchs are among them. And as a kid, I loved a writer named Eleanor Estes, who wrote a series of books about a family called the Moffats. And I just thought, Connecticut.
Oh, really? That's set in Connecticut?
Well, not only that, there used to be a congressman named Toby Moffat who was from Connecticut.
I forgot about that.
So the Moffats must be large in Connecticut.
I'd never heard of those books before. Oh, they're set in Connecticut.
They must not live
you should be. You live in Connecticut.
New Haven. Well, right. I don't know everything about Connecticut. But
and Paul, I think I had to ask you, Paul's father was famous Bart Giamatti.
Oh, I knew
President of Yale and then
I
president
about baseball.
Unfortunately for him, the National League.
Right, yeah.
He loved the American League and the Red Sox.
The Red Sox.
Harvey. What do you have any new dreams? I mean, what?
My dream?
Yeah.
My dream is to...
Do we need to check with Joyce on this?
No, I'll tell you. This has been clear. My dream is that this movie becomes so popular that I get a whole lot of freelance writing jobs and make enough money to adequately beef up my my government pension, and I can send my kid to school, stuff like that. That's what I'd like to do. That's, I think, the best I can see coming out.
This never made much money, did it?
No, not the first time around.
Yeah, not the first time around.
I mean, none of my books sold very well. I don't know why, but...
You're an endlessly fascinating guy. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having us.
Very much.
Well, I know I speak for all of us when I say thank you again.
Thank you, Paul. It's a great performance. It's a great film.
Thank you very much.
Critics say that who know a lot more about movies than I do. I mean, it is universally been praised by a whole range of people for a whole, not only because it's an interesting character at the center of it, but also the way the story is told.